Nigerian actress, filmmaker, and director Toyin Abraham at JME is no stranger to controversy. She's not a stranger to being in the news. She's not a stranger to being dragged. I mean, I feel like of late that has been happening to her very well, very, very much. But this time, Nigerians are actually more concerned for her than bashing her. And they're asking questions such as, did they used to lace the mics of this podcast with something? Is there jazz on it? Must you talk? Are you being compelled to speak? Must you people say something? Right? Like, do you not know when you're supposed to keep quiet? Because now the thing is, this interview that she granted that people are talking about, she did decline to talk about some things, but the way she even declined, the people had problems with it. Right. Let's get into it. Welcome to this channel, right? And today we are going to be dissecting Anthony Abraham's response to a recent interview, or should I a podcast appearance, an interview appearance, whatever I want to call it. She granted an interview and she was talking, and people felt like she had talked too much, and there are some things nobody needs to know. You've kept this private for a long time, even though it wasn't like private. People were aware, but they never heard from you, so there was no evidence to support it, sort of, at least not from your mouth, right? But you now had to come and say it. Why? A little mystery is okay. Do you understand? But at the end of the video, I like for us to be the judge. Do you think she did too much? Or was she just excited? Because you know how Toyin Abraham is with her husband. That's Kolawole Ajayemi. When you ask questions about that man, Toyin Abraham is always very, very hyper, very willing to talk and share experience on how lovely, beautiful, great the marriage is, and what a stud she finally, picked after being married to someone else for a while. Now let's talk about what's going on. Toyin Abraham Ajayemi, who originally was known as Olutoyin Aimako. That's her maiden name, right? Before she changed it to Abraham and then married Kolawole Ajayemi in 2019. She was born on the 5th of September 1980. She is a Nigerian actress, a filmmaker, and an entrepreneur. She's dabbled in entrepreneurship in and out, here and there, and whatnot. I don't know if she's actively an entrepreneur or maybe she's now focused solely on filmmaking, but there was a time she was selling herbal stuff when she recently gave birth to her son, right? Iri. Anyway, she's from Edo State. She's from the Auchi area of Edo State, although she's lived all her life in the southwest, so she's very fluent in the Yoruba language. Now, what interview did she grant and what did she say? I don't want to really, move further. I want us to stay on the gist, on the cocoa, what is going on exactly. I want us to stay there. Now, so Abraham attended an event. I'm sorry, a podcast talk show. You get this thing, Sha. She was there. They now asked her, how are you? I'm fine. How is your husband? Who is fine. This thing, you are in the industry together. How does it feel about you taking on romantic roles, right? And that was also brought upon because Toyin Abraham shared that my husband is not like a social media person like that, and that he was the best thing after Gary and all that. So I'm like, is he a romantic man? They're like, he's not really romantic. They're not asking, but what does he think about you, having sexual, scenes with men in your movies, obviously kissing them? Do you go back to discuss it? Do you leave it out on the dance floor? And I mean, did I say dance floor? On the set of the movie? Is that where it ends? Or do you go home and then go and analyze and talk about how it happened, why it happened, and all of those things? And Toyin Abraham responded to say, no, that does not happen. My husband is a very secure person. He does not mind if I kiss all the men in the movie industry. My husband is secured in who he married and in himself so much, such that that will not be a problem for him, or that is not a problem for him. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Then she now they now asked her something else about Funke Akindele. You know how she and Funke Akindele has this back and forth in the industry. People thinking, oh, they are rivals today, they are friends tomorrow. And there was a time earlier in the year where she attempted to greet Funke Akindele at a public event, and Funke Akindele snubbed her. At least people thought Funke Akindele ignored her. And so when the incident was brought again by the interviewer, to ask how far. She said, oh, I'd rather not talk about my past. I don't want to draw attention to it. We're like, okay, fine. You can refer to her as your past. But we felt like, oh, that was quite dismissive of Funke Akindele. Like, how would you refer to Funke Akindele as your past? Do you understand? People thinking she was talking about the person Funke Akindele as a past, not the incident. But that is not even what we're talking about here. Now, she now went ahead. They now asked her, now say, how far? Still talking about the husband thingy. So while she was praising her husband and talking about how her husband is the best thing after fried rice, she was like, oh, that she used to smoke. Now, TOYIN ABRAHAM smoking is not something that is new or strange. Not just TOYIN ABRAHAM, female actors, not just the gender, no gender, male and female, boy and girl, old and young. It's not a new thing for as celebrities, as stars to dabble into, smoking, drinking, maybe occasional drugs even, they do the marijuana, maybe they even do the hard drug. We don't know those are dabbling into it, but we've heard stories and rumors of people going into rehab because of their use of hard substances. So if she drinks and she smokes and whatnot, it's nobody's business. It's her business. But TOYIN ABRAHAM particularly it's been said that she's very notorious for smoking. Like early in the industry, she joined the industry in the year 2003, right? And according to persons, TOYIN ABRAHAM, as she's grown in the industry, in the early days was a chain smoker. Like she had no decorum when it comes to smoking and all that. So it's been heard, it's been hearsay. No, there's never been a picture of her anywhere smoking. No events of her smoking cigarettes, and it's not there. But she now said, oh, I used to smoke, but daddy recollected smoking from my hand, thanks to daddy real, that even when she got pregnant with their son, she was, she wanted to, because of course it's something you do, and to just break the habit for 9 months because something else is growing inside you is not very easy, right? So the husband had to be like, you have to stop this. You can't do this while pregnant. So she had to struggle, and then she paused it. Well, as soon as she gave birth, after giving birth, she returned to it because that is her lifestyle, what she knew to do, and her husband was very aware. So I was talking about as far back or as close as to 2019, not as far back now, as close as 2019. That's about 6-7 years now that she got married, right? As close as that time. Because it's something she had quit a long time ago. She would have been quick to say, oh, I quit about 17-20 years ago. Anyway, she said that she paused because of the, pregnancy and whatnot. And then as soon as she gave birth, she returned to it. And her husband was like, well, I'm not going to actively say stop. It is left for you to actively stop. But one thing I want you to know is this marriage will end the day I see my son play with cigarette butts, or he holds it, or he sniffs it, or he does anything remotely close, to representing this your bad habits. This marriage is over. And she said that word stung her, and so she quit smoking. That's just to show, to her, she was just giving Kolawole Ajayemi's accolade that such a man over her to have such a hold. So now, let me digress a little. Given that she said it was Kolawole Ajayemi that eventually got her to stop smoking, it's safe to say that while she was married to Adeniyi Johnson, she was still actively smoking. Because when the marriage to Adeniyi Johnson, her first husband, when the marriage ended, people had things to say, right, about why it ended. People suggested and rumored that, it was infidelity on both parties, and it was this bad habit. And so people were actually like, it was TOYIN ABRAHAM's bad habit, the smoking and the drinking and whatnot, that caused the marriage to end. But because there was no hard evidence, so maybe people that suggested that it was a habit of smoking and whatnot that got the man to leave the marriage, maybe they were not joking, maybe they were saying the truth after all. But I guess we'll never know. Anyways, moving on and talking about what we're talking about, right? Our current husband, Kolawole Ajayemi, and herself, and then smoking. And so she said that thanks to Kolawole Ajayemi, she's eventually now stopped smoking because it's not a habit she would like for her son to know of or be, do you understand, grow up and know that, oh, mommy smokes, so she stopped. So why then is it on record on the internet from your mouth that you smoke. This is where people are now beginning to have questions like, Toyin Abraham, you did not have to talk. You could have just let that, oh, my husband is one of the best things that has happened to me. And just leave it at that. And oh, I don't mind, it does not mind me kissing anybody. I can kiss as many persons as I want. I just left it at that. You know how to go ahead and say, oh, I used to smoke and then they told me to stop, and now occasionally I vape. People are like, why did you have to say that? Why did we have to? We didn't ask to know it. We are not interested. We don't want to know about it. We don't want to. You've been in the industry long enough. You should have gotten enough media training to know that some things you don't even acknowledge. Regardless of how intrusive the thoughts might be, regardless of how hard it might have been for you to keep it, don't talk. That's what some persons are saying. Like, that is why Fukadele did not acknowledge your greeting in public. And a lot of persons have issues, you know. A lot of persons have issues with you because what do you mean? You came on national TV to talk about how you used to be a chain smoker and drinker, but then you stopped. Where's the privacy? Where's the mystery? You know, it's not like it's something, it's not a strange thing for you to smoke and drink. Well, yeah, that's just the story, guys. And I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. Do you think the Abraham did too much? Especially since she's waived some questions, like the question about Funke Akindele, she's waived that. So why did you not waive this one? Kunle, what this man, a lot of persons are crediting him, Deyemi Okonlawon, for coming on that show and refusing to talk about the burial ceremony of the late Alexei Kubo. So, like, he can also say, I don't want to talk about it. Now, interesting thing is, Morayo, who is the host of the show, has not had to come online to say, people, please stop cursing me. I don't force these guys to say what they say. I am a talk show host, and then I push questions to them. I'm not a baby in the entertainment world and in the live interview world. But when I ask them questions and the answer is certain way, it should not be on me. I have a right to ask my questions and to you know to face them phrase them a certain way. And if they choose to decide, if they choose to respond in a, don't come and curse me. Because apparently people went to Mariah Brown to curse her to say they don't have to ask questions. I'll be asking them invading things that they are private. Like, they have a right to say no. And sometimes I even let them know that, oh, this interview might sort of go this way and go that way. And some obviously share their discomfort with some things and say, no, please don't ask me this. But others say no problem, and then they respond because they don't have a problem with it. But somehow she's the one that is in trouble. She the talk host. So I also want us to also dive into that in the comment section. Is the talk show hosting supposed to be the one we should question? Is it the interviewee for answering some of these questions? Case in point to Abraham's own. Is she the one supposed to query? And herself and Funke, do you think this? I don't know if there's a beef there, but do you think whatever this thing is going to come to an end someday? Because personally, I'm ready for it to end. Ready for it to end. But I don't know about you. You can let me know what you think in the comment section, guys, right? I'll see you there. Enjoy this video. Like it. That is, yes. If you enjoyed it or not enjoyed it, like this video. Subscribe to this channel if you are here to do so. Tell your family, friends, everybody around you. Use the share button, use the subscribe button, use the like button. Please give it a thumbs up. And I will be seeing you in the next one.